Hi, everybody. Welcome to Zoar Baptist Church. Here we are again. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the difference between the America we live in today and Jesus' time where he lived. We have cars and buses and trains and planes that take us places. But back in Jesus' day, they had to walk. They almost always had to walk. And they would walk long places, to get to places. They would be long walks. And Jesus and his disciples, who were his friends, the friends that he was teaching how to talk about God with people, how to heal people, they would go to different cities all over the country and tell the story of God. And Jesus decided that his friends were ready to go out on their own and go to all these different places and talk to people about God's love and also to heal. That was one of the miracles that Jesus gave to his 12 disciples. They could heal people. They could stop them from being blind. They could let them hear. There was just plenty of, let someone walk that couldn't walk before. There were all these wonderful, marvelous miracles that they were able to do. And they were able to do because Jesus and the God in heaven gave them the strength to do it. So they had all gathered back together to discuss what this adventure was that they went out to do. They went out and met with people and taught and healed, and they got together with Jesus. And when they got back together with Jesus, they were all really worn out, really tired. It had been wonderful, but they were tired and they needed a rest. And so Jesus said, if we go over to the other side of the lake, we'll take a boat over there. We can go over there. It's quiet and peaceful. We can all talk and pray and rest, which was what we all really need. And so the disciples decided that would be a great idea. So they got in the boat and were crossing the lake to get to the other side. Well, all these people that heard about Jesus and his disciples doing these wonderful things wanted to meet them. They wanted to see. They wanted to hear. And there was like so many. The Bible tells us it was 5,000 of them at least. And when they saw that the disciples and Jesus were in the boat, they ran around all the way around the whole lake to get to the other side. And because the wind was very strong that day, it took them a while to get the boat over. And by the time they got to the other side where they were going to rest, there were all these people there. And they wanted to know everything that the men wanted to teach them. They were so excited about everything. And they loved hearing the stories of people being healed and blind people being able to see and people who could never walk before be able to walk. All these miracles that were given down to Jesus and his helpers, the disciples. They were just amazing things. And of course, if we were to see that today, we would be amazed too, wouldn't we? If we saw someone who could never see, and all someone had to do was put their hands on their eyes, and all of a sudden they could see again. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Well, that's what the people were all excited about. And so Jesus and the disciples, as tired as they were, they knew that God loved these people, and they knew that they needed to continue to teach and to heal. So that's what they did. They had all the people come, and Jesus stood up there and told the story of God's love and told them all the things that they wanted to teach them about. To tell them that sometimes you can't believe what some people say. You have to know what's in God's heart. And we have God's heart in our Bible. We know what to say. We know the stories. We know they're true. So that's what Jesus did. He helped the people understand and helped them understand that it doesn't matter what color the skin of people are. It doesn't matter what language they speak. All that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is that we love the same God. And when we do that, we love one another. Well, it got very late, and the people had been there a long time, and they hadn't had anything to eat. So Jesus said, what do we have to feed them? And his disciples said, Master, we don't have anything to feed them. But a little boy came up and said, I have some food that my mom packed for me. I have 5 loaves of bread and 3 fish. And the disciple said, that is so sweet of you to want to bring us your lunch, but that wouldn't feed anybody but you. And so Jesus said, no, give me the food. And he put the basket in his hands and he prayed to God. And he said, God, please, we need to feed all these people. And sure enough, the food just grew and grew and grew. And he told his disciples to go out and have everybody eat as much as they wanted of the fish and the bread that now had so much that it could feed these 5,000 people. Not only could it feed the 5,000 people, but when they were all through and ate their fill, there was still more left. And Jesus said, let's not waste it. Let's put this in these 12 baskets, which they filled to the brim with the food. It was another miracle that God showed the people the kindness and how Jesus was so kind that he wanted to make sure the people were okay. That's the kind of thing that Jesus wants us to learn. Kindness is so important. As Christians, we need to show Christian love to people. Sometimes people aren't very loving. Sometimes they're not the people that we really want to be nice to. But one of the things that Jesus teaches us is that we need to learn how to look past what the people are doing and past what they may look like and past maybe their anger and be kind. You know, nothing works better than kindness. Sometimes when someone's angry, a little kindness will help them not be angry. Sometimes people have reasons to be sad, and that's when our kindness should be really helpful to them. So those are the things that the stories that Jesus has for us that are all true in his Bible that tells us these things. This is how God wants us to be. He wants us to be kind and loving to people, just like Jesus cared about those people getting something to eat that day. We don't have miracles. No, we can't do a miracle. Those miracles are saved for Jesus and his men at that time. But what we do have is we have kindness and love in our hearts, and we can always share that. So if you'd remember that, Miss Dodie would be very happy, and I thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. See you next week.